Welcome back to another episode in A Beginner's Guide to Tonex. One question that I receive a lot with folks who are using Tonex is they ask me, why are the tone models so noisy? Now, that's not an easy question to answer because it really depends on many factors, but one thing I have noticed, it's a lot of times when folks are utilizing very high gain tone models. Now, really in the real world of amps, if we're using a guitar amp that's set for a very high gain sound, and depending on the guitar we're using and the environment we're in, we could naturally just have a lot of noise. And that's really the purpose behind utilizing a noise gate. But I've also heard people say, the noise gate in Tonex is really awful. It doesn't work properly. And I really don't understand where they get that from because I find it works quite well, but you do have to know how to dial it in properly. Now, there's only a few controls on it, but those are powerful controls, and it is very important to understand exactly what they do. So we're going to sort that all out today, and hopefully you will be much better equipped to utilize the incredible noise gate that Tonex has built into it. I'm also going to take this opportunity to showcase a new tone model collection I have from my Tone Kitchen collection, which is where I take two complementary, or what I feel are complementary amps, blend them together at the same time, baked into the same tone model. So we kind of get the best of both worlds. And today I am featuring my Fried SLO Ultimate Tone Model Collection. This is going to be a collection that's based off of a blending of my Friedman Pink Taco version 2 amp and my Soldano SLO-30. Two incredible amps, but very different sounding amps that I got to blend together that I think gives us a nice range all the way from very clean, believe it or not. I got them, well, I shouldn't say very clean, but fairly clean, all the way up to full-blown, all-out lead overdrive sounds, which are going to be good to showcase this noise gate. So first I'm going to take you through the tones from that tone model collection with a few different guitars so you can hear what they sound like. Then we'll dive in and talk a little bit more about the noise gate. We'll head over to Tonex now. All right, here we are over in Tonex. I have my really beautiful Vigier GV Wood semi-hollow body guitar. I absolutely love this guitar. I'm going to start off showcasing these tone models with this guitar. So you'll see here the naming convention, JS Fried SLO or Fried Slow Alt. Clean, push, OD1, OD2, OD3. I try to keep the Tone Kitchen series of tone models very concise and small. There are 5 tone models in each one of these. So you're not sifting through a whole bunch of different tone models. You're going to get a nice array of tonal variation here and different gain ranges that hopefully you could even play a whole night of various styles of music with. So you'll notice here I actually have the Pink Taco head going through a 2-rock 112 closed back cabinet. They paired up beautifully. That is a killer cabinet. You might not think of it for a high gain amp like the Pink Taco, but I gotta say it worked really beautifully. And I have my SLO-30 going through a Heritage Celestion Greenback G12 M20 loaded cab, and I gotta say it worked really nicely. So starting off on the clean tone here, I'm on the bridge pickup on my Vigier GV Wood. So there's a little bit of hair on it, right? If we roll that volume back though, cleans up nice. Little edge of breakup tone there that's very beautiful. Okay, moving on to the neck pickup. Really nicely balanced tones, middle position, which is a split coil, sound more single coily here. So beautiful clean sound, very usable. Moving on to the next level of gain, this is going to be push. I called it clean on the character, but you know, it depends on, you get in that range where we don't know whether to call it drive or call it clean. That again is on the bridge pickup. Move to the neck pickup. Very nice stuff. Now it gets really interesting. We're going to start blending the different characters of overdrive between these two incredible amps. Go to OD1. These are different gain levels. Like I would say OD1 to OD3 kind of just progressively get more overdrive, more gain, but they also are just voiced different to give folks a different array of tonal qualities possible anyways. I really tried to get the Pink Taco to have kind of a nice bottom dark sound to it. The little sizzle from the SLO. Go to the neck pickup. Back to the bridge. Now we'll move on to OD2, a little different voicing and a little more gain. Neck pickup. Back to the bridge. And finally, OD3, highest level of gain, and again, voice slightly different. Neck pickup. Let's take a listen to this with some single coil pickups now. So now I have my incredible Sir Classic T. We'll go back to our clean. I'll go through this with a little less explanation and talking. Here we are on our bridge pickup. Surprisingly, this is one of my favorite tone models out of this bundle. Neck pickup. Moving on to push. Neck pickup. Moving on to OD1. Neck pickup. You'll see they sound really nice regardless of guitar, regardless of what pickup selection. OD2. Neck pickup. Clean up really nicely. And finally, OD3. Finally, let's give him a listen with some P90 pickups. Here I am with my Vigier GV Wood with P90s. I'll go back to the clean tone. Neck pickup. Moving on to push one on the bridge pickup. Neck pickup. OD1. Neck pickup. OD2, bridge pickup. Neck pickup. And finally, OD3 with the bridge pickup. Neck pickup. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the look at those tone models. So getting on to today's topic, which is going to be our noise gate. We can click it here and expand. So I'm going to bring all of these down to 0, everything that we have here. The reason I'm utilizing my GV Wood with P90s is because these are just naturally noisy pickups. They are not noiseless. They're not meant to be. P90s are noisy pickups if they're not of the noiseless variety of more modern P90s that are available nowadays. So the noise gate is going to be quite useful. So if we come to preset like we were just looking at from the Fried SLO Ultimate, the OD3, high gain. Let's even crank the gain up here so we have more input hitting the front of the amp, and we listen. Lots of noise, right? It's not an ideal situation. If I bring in the noise from the pickups with my guitar volume pot up, there's just tons of noise. That is not a problem. It's just the way it is in this particular situation. A high gain tone model with a guitar with noisy pickups. So it's fine. It is what it is. That's why we have noise gates. So let's go through the different controls here first and understand exactly what we can do here to get the noise gate working properly. First of all, the threshold control, going to be one of the most important controls. This is going to determine at what point the noise gate opens and closes. So we have this noise, which is at a certain volume level. We need the threshold to be above that. So let's see what happens. As I bring this up, I get to a point where the threshold surpasses the amount of noise there is. Therefore, now it closes the gate. Now you'll notice that we still have some noise. We'll talk about that in just a couple moments. There is a way for us to get rid of that also. So I can go all the way up with it. You might say, well, that's perfect. I'll go all the way up with it. Now, the problem with that is that that's also going to determine when the gate closes again. So if I'm playing softly, I'm not getting the same response that the tone is supposed to give me because the gate is staying partially closed, at least, because when I'm hitting softly, I'm not actually surpassing the threshold of the noise. So I need to bring the threshold basically as low as I can get it so that it's doing what I want, but not closing too early. So it's a fine balance. You want this as low as you can get it to get rid of the noise without affecting your tone. The other problem might be that I could hit a note to sustain it, and with that threshold too high, as the note decays, it's going to fall below the threshold. The gate's going to close and not be too great for our sustain. So again, we want to get this as low as we can get it, but so that it's not reacting and opening and closing in an unnatural fashion. We can hit that spot where it doesn't know whether it wants to be open or closed, and that's a problem too. So let's start off with it somewhere right up around here. Okay, so that's how we can set our threshold. But the problem is, I'm still hearing some noise. Isn't the gate supposed to get rid of that? That's where the depth control comes in. Right now, I have it set to minimum, so it's not going very deep down into the sound. The gate is closed, but it's allowing a certain amount still to come through. So watch what happens if I put this up to full. Now things are silent. The problem with having that too high is that it can really affect the tone as well. So you'll notice here as I bring it up, we get less and less of that residual noise. Now we're talking. That's a little bit nicer now. So we want to maybe just be careful to balance this again. We probably only want to bring the depth, just like with the threshold, up as high as we need it to get rid of just the right amount of noise. So let's go up to maybe here halfway. You'll notice with the gate off, with the gate on. So my guitar volume is at full right now, but I put that gate on. I don't hear any of this awful pickup noise. Now, that's great. We have good settings on our threshold and depth. What about the release control? Well, the release control is going to determine how quickly the gate closes after the sound drops below the threshold. So this is going to be really important. If you notice here, I'm going to turn the reverb off for this. Do you notice how it really clamps down quickly? That might be great if we're doing some sort of chugs where we need it to really clamp quickly, and it may not even be quick enough for that and not for that real purpose. But it can have an unnatural sound if it just clamps down on the sound too quickly. So if I go all the way up the other extreme, you'll notice that it kind of closes more slowly. That maybe not in the way we want though, because we're still hearing a little too much of that noise after. So this could be kind of too much noise coming through, and this could be too abrupt. So let's go up about halfway. That's a little nicer. You know, it's just a little more natural fading out of the noise. Now, if we throw a little bit of reverb back on, kind of helps to mask that a bit. So those settings there are something I could probably work well with. And I've got a fairly natural gate that isn't chopping open and closed in an unnatural way. All right, so there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that look at the noise gate. I also hope you enjoyed the look at my Tone Kitchen Volume 6 tone models, the Fried SLO Ultimate Tone Model Collection. That is available at the link below if you're so inclined. I'm going to take you out today by playing you a full-blown demo video utilizing the different tone models from that collection, completely untouched in the mix, over a song of mine called Poison and Power from my last album, Brief Eclipse. This features my great friend Marco Miniman on the drums, and it's a real fun tune to play, and I utilize the various tone models from this collection to play these tones in the mix. I really truly hope you enjoy that. Again, the link is below to those tone models if you're so inclined to want to grab a copy of those. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like the video, share it with anybody you think would get some use or enjoyment out of watching it. Also, please subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell notification to get notified when I put new content out. I'll be back really soon with some more. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in. Ciao for now.